It may seem hard to believe, but just because you're famous doesn't mean you won't run into money trouble every now and again. Whether it was a result of outside influences, financial fickleness, or just plain bad luck, these are the stars who all went broke this past decade. In 2018, Lisa Marie Presley sued her former business manager, Barry Siegel, for allegedly squandering a fortune of over $100 million she inherited from her father, Elvis Presley. Presley accused Siegel of poorly investing money from her trust and of selling her assets when the investments tanked, leaving her with just $14,000 and landing her $500,000 in debt. She also claimed that Siegel had purchased a $9 million home in England using the trust and risked her entire fortune when he failed to pay the house's $6.7 million balloon payment. In documents later obtained by the Daily Mail, Presley claimed Siegel charged her $700,000 annually to manage the trust. The documents noted, had Siegel disclosed the trust's true financial condition to Presley and restricted spending to the trust's income rather than its principal assets, Presley would have lived comfortably on an annual budget of between $1.5 and $2 million per year after taxes. Siegel denied the claims and said Presley's financial devastation was entirely her own fault, adding that one of his investments paid $20 million of her previous debts and netted $40 million. Siegel insisted most of that she managed to squander in the ensuing years. In January 2017, Johnny Depp sued the management group and 14 other entities for $25 million, alleging gross misconduct that cost him tens of millions of his dollars. TMG denied the allegations, saying that for 17 years, they did everything they could to protect Depp from what they called his irresponsible and profligate spending. TMG also alleged that Depp only repaid $800,000 of a $5 million loan from the company. Regardless of how TMG managed his funds, Depp certainly didn't live frugally. In court documents obtained by the New York Post, TMG alleged that Depp spent $2 million per month, including $30,000 on wine alone. He also blew $18 million on a yacht, $75 million in real estate, and hundreds of thousands of dollars on full-time staff.
Welcome to the Caribbean, love.
Page 6 reported that Depp also outright refused to sell his private jet to recoup some cash. TMG alleged that we bailed him out of numerous legal crises, including making a series of hush money settlements. The lawsuit between Depp and TMG was reportedly settled in July 2018 on undisclosed terms, but Depp still faced numerous other legal entanglements, both civil and criminal in nature. You'd think that penning a timeless, schmaltzy tune would set you up for life. But that wasn't the case for That's What Friends Are For singer Dionne Warwick, who filed for bankruptcy in March 2013. TMZ reported that Warwick claimed just $25,000 in assets and $10.2 million in back taxes, IRS penalties, and interest. Warwick listed her income as $20,950 a month, but her expenses as $20,940 a month, leaving her with net gains of just $10 each month. Her expenses included $5,000 on housekeeping and $4,000 on a personal assistant. At the time, Warwick's rep said in a statement, "In light of the magnitude of her tax liabilities, Warwick has repeatedly attempted to offer repayment plans and proposals to the IRS and the California Franchise Tax Board for taxes owed. These plans were not accepted, resulting in escalating interest and penalties." In 2015, the National Enquirer reported that Warwick's debts were all forgiven, except her back taxes, for which she was ordered to pay $3.6 million. In June 2017, actress-turned-activist Alyssa Milano sued her former business manager, Kenneth Helly, for $10 million. She accused Helly of severe misconduct, including failing to pay overdue bills and taxes and making, quote, poor investments in businesses in which he was also an investor. The latter was also a potential conflict of interest, of which Milano claimed she was not informed. Variety reported that Milano's financial troubles started with a $5 million renovation on her home, which was worth no more than $3 million at the time. Additionally, she incurred $376,950 in code violation fines and a lien. She was also alleged to have incurred 8 late mortgage payments within 13 months. In fact, her credit was so poor that she was reportedly unable to refinance her home to get out of the red. Milano also claimed that because Helly never alerted her to her financial foibles, she had to walk away from a $1.3 million salary for a third season of the show Mistresses. Milano fired Helly in June 2016, then accused him of forging a $26,000 check, which she had only found out about when her account went into overdraft. Helly alleged that Milano and husband David Bugliari lived beyond their means and denied any wrongdoing. The suit was settled in June 2019. Tori Spelling and McDermott don't get a ton of TV work anymore, but they still seem to splurge like they're making Friends money. In May 2017, the couple lost a default judgment in a lawsuit from City National Bank and were ordered to pay $220,000 after they failed to pay off a 2010 loan for $400,000. A month earlier, Page Six reported that the IRS had emptied the couple's bank accounts to recoup $704,000 in back taxes, stretching back only 3 years. In January 2019, American Express sued Spelling for the second time for unpaid bills totaling more than $88,000. But Spelling and McDermott's debts didn't end there. In March 2017, McDermott narrowly avoided jail time for not paying an alleged $100,000 in back child support to his ex-wife Mary Jo Eustace. Spelling said in her 2013 memoir, Spelling It Like It Is, that her and McDermott's financial troubles were the result of several factors: her own expensive tastes, a real estate deal gone wrong that lost almost $1 million, and a number of unsuccessful business ventures. In February 2017, actor Stephen Baldwin had his Rockland County home foreclosed and auctioned to cover his massive debt on the property. In 2013, Baldwin's bank sued him, claiming the actor defaulted on his $7,000 per month mortgage and owed over $1 million on the property at the time of the foreclosure. By 2016, Baldwin's mortgage debt plus interest and fees had ballooned to nearly $1.1 million. On top of those issues, Baldwin was also hit with a $1 million lien for unpaid taxes and fees on the property. He has since moved into an apartment in Queens, New York. This all went down after Baldwin had previously filed for bankruptcy in 2009, claiming that he owed more than $2.3 million in mortgage payments and taxes, and was $70,000 in credit card debt. It seems that Baldwin's foreclosed home wasn't the only problem either. In March 2013, Baldwin pleaded guilty to failing to file personal income taxes for 3 years, leaving him more than $300,000 in debt to the IRS. The Associated Press reported that Baldwin paid off his back income taxes in 2014 with help from a loan from an unidentified pal. Dionne T-Boz Watkins first declared bankruptcy with the rest of TLC back in 1995 and nearly lost her Georgia property to foreclosure in 2009. Unfortunately, her money troubles followed her into the 2010s. The singer filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy protection in October 2011 after failing to pay nearly $769,000 on her $1.2 million property in Duluth, Georgia.
But you know what's funny though? When black people do it, it's always we're super broke. But if a white person does it, they reorganize it.
In the filing, Watkins listed her assets at over $1.7 million. Unhelpfully, she also had an ex who owed her $250,000 in back child support at the time of her bankruptcy filing. But in February 2012, Watkins' bankruptcy protection was dismissed after she allegedly failed to complete the proper paperwork, allowing creditors and bill collectors to go after her assets. She sold her Duluth mansion in August 2012 for just $680,000 at a loss of over $400,000. In February 2012, TMZ reported that Gary Busey had filed for bankruptcy. In the filing, the once prolific film actor claimed he had roughly $50,000 in assets and was between $500,000 and $1 million in debt. Busey owed money to the IRS, UCLA Medical Center, a storage company, LA County Waterworks, and Wells Fargo, as well as to a woman who sued him for allegedly attacking her at an airport in Tulsa 9 months earlier. Busey's rep told the site, "Gary's filing is the final chapter in a process that began a few years ago of jettisoning the litter of past unfortunate choices, associations, circumstances, and events." Fortunately for the star, Busey settled most of his debts by December 2012. He was let off the hook for about $50,000 in unpaid bills to some creditors and allowed to keep $26,000 worth of his assets. However, he still had to pay $450,000 in back taxes. Lil Kim hasn't had a hit since 2005's Lighters Up from her album The Naked Truth peaked at number 31 on Billboard's Hot 100 chart. But that hasn't exactly curbed her spending. In June 2018, Lil Kim filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy protection, listing nearly $2.6 million in assets and just under $4.1 million in debt. The Queen Bee of the Big Apple owed nearly $2 million to Uncle Sam in back taxes alone, plus $186,000 in legal fees and another $2 million to a loan company for her New Jersey property. The jump-off rapper also alleged in her bankruptcy filing that she receives no child support from Jeremy Neal, the rapper known as Mr. Papers and the father of her daughter, who she says she's raising alone. And while that all sounds pretty dire, Lil Kim also claimed a very healthy monthly income of $43,000 for her business Queen Bee Entertainment. From that gross, she claims to have approximately $25,000 in overhead, leaving around $18,000 left in profit. The fleeting nature of fame hits Sinbad hard. The actor and comedian filed for bankruptcy in 2013, with TMZ reporting that he was almost $11 million in the red compared to his $131,000 in assets. This was his second bankruptcy filing, having also applied in 2009, but the case was dismissed because he failed to file the correct documents. For the 2013 filing, Sinbad's debts were largely down to back taxes, including $8.3 million in state and federal arrears. On top of that, the star owed $374,979 to American Express and another $32,199 to the Bank of America in outstanding credit card debt. Sinbad told Huffington Post that his financial issues didn't come as the result of a lavish lifestyle, but to poor business management, explaining that he spent a lot of cash on salaries for employees and equipment for his company.
Yeah, you in hell, all right. You know what? My name is Sinbad. This is Sinbad's house.
Add on taxes, interest, and fees, he said, and times got even tougher. In the end, things just didn't turn around in time. He admitted, "I spent money and I kept thinking, I get one more movie and I'll wipe these bills out." But that movie never came. Singer Toni Braxton filed for bankruptcy twice, first in 1998, then again in 2010. She said that her 1998 bankruptcy filing was due to her expensive tastes and a less-than-stellar recording contract. The Unbreak My Heart singer told ABC News that despite selling $170 million worth of her music around the world, she only pocketed $1,792 from royalties after having to pay back her record company's advances on music videos and touring costs. In her memoir, Unbreak My Heart, Braxton also admitted to a penchant for Gucci flatware, grand pianos, and designer gowns. She suffered health problems too, including the autoimmune disease lupus, but didn't reveal that to her record label because she was scared they'd think she couldn't perform. Braxton rebounded with a new deal in 2000 and settled her debts, but the good times didn't last long. She filed for bankruptcy again in 2010, citing between $10 million to $50 million of debt and only $1 million to $10 million in assets. She told ABC News it was due to poor record sales as well as canceled performances due to illness. TMZ reported that Braxton settled her second bankruptcy case in 2013 for just $150,000. She reportedly purchased a $3 million home just months later. Check out one of our newest videos right here, plus even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite stars are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.